Hi, I'm Jordan Bradshaw, and this is the Jordan Bradshaw.
Hi everybody, I'm Jordan Bradshaw. This is the Jordan Bradshow. We're here at the We Get Networking event going on in Houston, Texas, and I'm here today with Connor Coffin.
Yeah.
Now Connor, we've had your dad on the show.
Yeah.
Is that not like a crazy thing for you already?
Well, I'd assume that's a first for your show. Now you're doing a lineage.
No, that's gonna be the next step. We're gonna do the father-son duo. We're gonna see how that goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What is it like getting to come out here, do all these events, and like?
Oh, it's been an amazing experience. Just the amount of networking opportunities that are available. Like having my dad as the one running this whole, shindig. I mean, there's a lot of work that I have to do extra behind the scenes in terms of setting up and, and emailing people, but it's invaluable in terms of the opportunities that are presented to you. So it's been great. I just learned so much.
I can only imagine you've gotten to meet like some of the coolest people that are out there too.
Yeah. One of the tops is Matthew Knowles, Beyonce's dad.
Yeah.
That was fun. We worked with him a long time ago at some of our springboard events.
Yeah. What was that like getting to meet him?
He's kind of intimidating. He's a tall guy. Beyonce's dad, so.
I mean, can't mess that one up.
Yeah, it was a cool experience, just getting to meet someone who's personally worked on music, you've heard since you've been growing up. So that was definitely cool. But I'm a little desensitized to it now. These are all just people with agendas as businesses, and so try and introduce yourself the best you can.
That's a good mindset to have at a young age. I feel like. So for yourself, you also are a musician, right?
Yes. I have my own music that I've been working on slowly. My artist name is Connor Rhodes, which is my middle name. It's a slight deviation from, my dad and everything.
Right.
Kind of why I did it that way. But he actually helped produce the 3 tracks that I do have out right now. And now I've just got a few more in the works that I have completely written. Just got to get in the studio, and I'm looking for a January, early 2023 actual release marketing campaign.
Yeah. One of the things I found so interesting about the way that you've been releasing music is the skeleton mixes. Yeah, what are those, and what do those mean to you?
So essentially what I kind of pinpointed and what I think my strong suit is as a songwriter is the lyric aspect. I spend a lot of time and actually start with the lyrics first, where most people have their musical bed and then they think of what they want to write about. Once we got all of the full production tracks back, we did, some versions where we thought it might be a little too busy, but we liked both versions of it. Where the skeleton mixes take out the drums, they take out some of the extra bells and whistles and samples that we put in behind, and really just, it's called the skeleton mix because it's meant to be a baseline music bed for, hearing the lyrics to my stuff, because lyrics, probably about 10 to 20% of the people actually care about them, so it's not a huge thing, but I feel like it really fits within my niche. So I wanted to have the full versions that are actually not released yet or on iTunes or anything are going to come when the project drops, and that way it'll be 5 tracks that'll work out to a 10-track project of 5 skeletons, and then 5 big band or full band tracks, just to kind of give it some variety. And really, I just find it essential to showing off my lyrical talent, because I'm amazing.
That's the mindset we gotta have nowadays, man. That is the mindset.
That's true. You gotta know what you're good at and know what you're not good at.
No, amen, right there. Honestly, one of the things, have you noticed, when it comes to the lyric videos and everything, what is the release with that versus just coming out with just the song straight off?
It all is meant to be, in favor of getting more people to hear your music. Because 90% of the time when you're trying to release something on your own, you'll just put the music out and think you're done. But you're really not. You have to think about these marketing and promotional materials like a lyric video, different ways that your audience can access your music and understand your music. Because most of the time, even if your record you put out is great, if you just dropped it and then forgot about it, no one heard it. So you don't even really give yourself a chance for people to like your music when you do it that way. If you're not thinking about the marketing, if you're not thinking about how you're going to get people to at least give you a chance. So it's been fun. I've been doing a small sort of like, campaign on my own in a way to try and like figure out what works for me, what kind of branding style I want. So that's been helpful. But once I do get to the official and bigger push, I'm going to look for outside sources and look to delegate a little more in terms of the marketing and whatnot, versus ignoring it, which a lot of people don't, just because I think they get overwhelmed and a little anxiety and intimidation about having to do all this social media marketing and building up an email list or whatever. But it's just completely important and necessary if you actually want people to hear your music. But if it's more of a hobby, then just make the music, release it whenever you want.
Amen. Yeah. No, I think like even some of the panelists earlier were talking a lot about like that at the end of the day it is still a business, and you still do have to like be able to keep in mind like all those kind of things that you're talking about as far as branding, marketing, so on and so forth.
And stealing a quote from my dad, because I've heard it a million times, but when you look at the conjoined word music business is the bigger word there. It's more important if you're trying to turn it into an actual brand and an entity of its own.
Very big brain stuff right there. So with your record that's coming out, who are like some of the artists you might compare your sound to? And like who influenced it?
It's kind of interesting. I feel like I have a fairly unique sound, and me personally, just as a philosophy, I don't like the whole idea of genres because they evolve and change as time goes on, and they're just not very concrete or definite. So I always struggle with placing myself in a box of a genre. But some of the artists and songwriters that I think kind of sound like me, a lot of people told me I sound like Jason Mraz in terms of my music. I don't hear it, but it's the consensus. So I'd say Jason Mraz, a more familiar artist, I don't know how popular he is, but his name's Alec Benjamin.
Oh, I love Alec Benjamin.
I feel like he's one of the most talented songwriters ever. Because it's so lyrically focused, I feel like I have a lot of similarities
you
to
got
him.
the John Mayer endorsement, man.
Yeah,
so you gotta get the John Mayer endorsement now. You're next up.
John Mayer in there. So I think it's a generally more commercial sound, but I do a lot more just creative experimental stuff. Like one of my songs on Spotify, Amorous, is in an odd meter. It's in 7. Even though it feels very poppy and singable, it actually is in an odd meter, which I love. So I'd like to think I'm a little more experimental than these commercial pop artists that I've been compared to. Not as a diss, I love those artists, but I'd say that's who I sound like the most. Things like Jason Mraz, John Mayer, Alec Benjamin.
Have you ever checked out Dominic Fike?
Yes. Big fan of Dominic Fike.
I can hear a little bit of the Dominic Fike in your music too.
In terms of vocal patterns and styles, I love like R&B licks and grooves. So he definitely fits in there. And I love rap and hip hop, which is where the lyrical aspect comes in. I treat it a little more poetically than rap and hip hop, but it's the same craft. It's writing lyrics for a song.
Well, man, plug us. Tell us where we can hear your stuff.
So you can follow me on all platforms. Rhodes Connor, one word, _C. RHODESCONNOR_C. And hopefully I'll have a project in January of next year.
Below in the bio.
Thank you so much, Jordan Bradshaw, for having me on your podcast. And I very much, I don't know if you guys know, but he makes music too.
Check it out.
I fucking love that song King Pong. It's just so fucking catchy. But thank you again for having me.
Of course,
it's
man.
Nice being on your show.
Of course. Cut.